Hey, what's up, WCR This is Orange bringing to you an audio commentary. It's been a while since I've done one because I haven't done one in a while. So, get the replay paused at the 45-second mark, and I'm really sorry about the map path. I honestly have no idea what these people were smoking when they organized this tournament, but they decided, hey, let's make a completely unessential map path with random digits, numbers, and let's make it all complicated for no reason type of map path. So basically you just copy Echo Isles into that. Like, at least when they had the individual tournaments and they had like the tournament name and the sponsors on the map somewhere, I mean, that was sort of bearable, but this is just retarded. Just find it in the Frozen Throne folder and use it, you jerks. Anyways, so this replay, honestly, I wouldn't have even watched it if I'd known what the map path was before I downloaded it and decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to watch a replay for once. And this was it. So this is actually a pretty good game. It shows kind of a different approach to controlling the map as an orc player on Echo Isles. So we'll go over that. It is between, I think it's Fly and Yumiko. I could be wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Fly and Yumiko. And I'm probably pronouncing the human player's name wrong. I don't really care. So you should be at the 45-second mark by now. And if you're not, I'm sure Downwire's figured it out for you. So, because that's probably where you're watching it. Hooray for Downwire. Anyways, unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So basically what you're going to see is just a standard orc build for the orc player, and you're going to see a fairly standard play by the human here. He's going to be speed building his altar and going Mountain King first. And this is one of the things you look for when you are, in fact, scouting a human player is, are they power building the altar? Generally, if they don't scout early on, you can kind of assume that they've power built the altar, or that they just don't know how to scout. Because it is pretty essential to look for certain things when you're scouting as a human player. Like, for instance, where they put their shop. Where they put their shop's fairly important, because if you see where Fly is putting it here, that means he's obviously going to be creeping the Ogre Warrior first and then heading down, because otherwise he won't be able to pick up the Salves or the Clarities. And he probably won't be able to control the marketplaces early on if he doesn't build a shop at all. So knowing where the shop is pretty important. If they build it near the middle, chances are they're going to use their early scout peon to do it. So if you don't see a shop being built where, I guess, Fly is building it there, or at least near his burrow, and if he's building it near his burrow, he's probably going for the quick level 2. But if you don't see it in either of those places, chances are he's building it in the middle, which means he's probably used his scout peon to do that, and he's going to be heading down. So what Fly's going to be doing is he's going to be creeping for the item, obviously, and what he does is he tanks the Forestful Trappers with his Blade Master, and then he lets his Grunt tank the Ogre Mauler. Just overall less damage taken, and basically the way to do that is you send your Grunt in first to do the damage so that it doesn't get ensnared and then beat on when your Blade Master leaves. Oh, here he picks up the Circlet because he sold his town portal. So you can do that if you feel so inclined. Also, setting off your Windwalk early on, like around that area, gives you the leverage to actually get fairly far into their base. You can actually get down to this green camp and Jack the Knoll if you do the Windwalk where he did it. Now that's a very dangerous Grunt placement. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But he is pro, so he's going to be able to juke his Grunt out from there with a nice little glitch. I was saying something about shop placement that was probably important, but whatever. And basically he's waiting for the Grunt spring again. and instead he just goes for the damage on the Mountain King. The reason you go for the Mountain King at this point is because he can actually run his footies and his militia into the back of his base, so you're not going to be able to kill it. And if you do damage to that, it's just going to sit there until it's healed anyway, so it's not very important. But if you deal damage to the Mountain King, he's actually going to be forced to heal it. Now, at this point, Yumiko's not going to be using the bolt, because obviously Fly's waiting for the bolt. So he's just going to dodge it with a Windwalk anyways, so no real point in doing that. Anyways, as the Orc player, when you were scouting with the peon, it's important to know what hero he's gotten, just to know what to be prepared for. Now, Fly here does a smart little move. He wakes up the creeps just to force the human player, because the human player could sit there forever and just not do anything. Also, getting rid of the Troll Priest is a very big deal, because it's his only source of healing at this point. So if you do deal damage to his units, it's fairly permanent until that shop gets up. He did almost go for the Troll Trapper there, which was odd. And at this point in the game, I actually like to, when your Mountain King's that close to being level 3, you might as well use the bolt and kill that Ogre Mauler, just so that he doesn't get the item as well. Now, unfortunately, when the Mountain King hits level 3, basically, that means he's got free grunt kills, and that's a really awkward looking surround. So basically, he's going to get level 3 here. And knowing where the human player is going to be creeping is very good, just so that you know, or so that you can keep track of what kind of experience his hero is going to have. And that's just really sloppy play. Basically, he's going to lose his Blade Master because of that. Losing a level 2 blade sucks. So basically, when you see him creeping out the Merc camp, obviously he's going to be level 2. And then what he's going to do is he's probably going to creep the green camp, and then he's going to head down and creep the gold mine. Or it depends on what happens early game. In this case, he got a grunt kill, so he was able to just basically pick off only one of those green camps and then head down and get his level 3. So keeping track of your enemy's hero's experience is very important, because once he has level 3, just stuff dies, basically. So you have to be a little more cautious, and you have to know to expect it when you run into his base and try and kill some peasants. And also you need to know when he's going to hit level 5, basically, because that means your Shadow Hunter's probably going to die in about 5 seconds. Anyways, Yumiko's Expo's sort of going to be late here. I believe he was short on gold and wood, but he did get the Blade Master kill, so that's very good in terms of time for him, so it's not as big a deal in this game. Because, I mean, dead Blade Master level 2, he's either going to use the Tavern, which means he's going to have a weak blade and he's going to be forced to use a bunch of money and gold to heal it, as well as bring it back, which is just, it's good for him because it makes this tier 2 play a lot more powerful, because it means less raiders early on, it means like less clarities on the Shadow Hunter, and it just makes life difficult for the Orc player. So interesting to note, he does pick up Ensnare before getting his first Raider out. This is probably because he knows that the Mountain King's just waiting for the Raider kill, so I guess he's playing it a little more cautiously. He doesn't have a Boots of Speed this game, but you'll notice the Mountain King doesn't either, and yeah, it just happened. I mean, he lost his level 2 blade, no point picking up a Boots and spending more money. Just because mobility is not going to be a huge factor, especially on this map, because you can really keep track of your opponent. So you can really know where he is and sort of have preemptive movements. Now, unfortunately, his Shadow Hunter gets jacked here. Oddly enough, the surround went off a little late. Basically, what he did there was he picked off the Troll Shadow Priest. Reason being is because then Abolish will be gone. That's a Kenny Loggins Blade Master. It's in the danger zone. Unfortunately, the Shadow Hunter gets surrounded as well. That's just a really good play by the human player here. But yeah, you get rid of the Troll Priest so he doesn't have the ability to get rid of your Hex, and that way you can kill stuff like Footman. No matter how long it's in Hex, you basically get the kill. And nice little bash going off there. He gets the ensnare on the footy. Unfortunately, he doesn't decide to move his grunt out of the way. I don't know. It's kind of sloppy play by the orc here. He does get the footy kill, but the bolt goes off, so it's going to die anyways. And the Blade Master's just sitting around waiting for weak footies to be rallied. That's not a big deal. So basically what he's going to be doing with his macro here is he's just going to be getting rid of, or his micro and his macro. Basically at this point he's just getting rid of the Mountain King. Because that's basically what a Mountain King's going to do. It's going to bolt you for a while. And human player basically waited for the second ensnare to go off because he did see 2 raiders, so he didn't want to lose his Staff of Teleportation and be forced to Town Portal. That's just good play. Blade Master's level 3 here. So he's obviously going to Windwalk and run around for the next little bit. And the Shadow Hunter's obviously going to creep this, and he's going to be able to get level 2. Generally, you can't just straight away creep this and get level 2, but he does have a couple unit kills, so that's going to allow him a little bit more leeway. Now, this is an important part of the matchup. You'll notice that he is letting the human player basically take control of the shop. And what the human player did there, which is a smart way to doing it, is he basically bought the dust first and then the push of invisibility. That way, when your opponent sees, oh, invisibility, maybe I'll buy the dust. You've already bought the dust, and it's hard to actually prepare for that. So he bought the dust first, just to be safe. Now, at this point, you do realize, as the orc player, that the human player is probably going to send his Mountain King to try and cancel your Expo. So what he's doing is he's actually going to be creeping near his base, or his Expo in this case, and he's going to be using his Blade Master just to scout. So he's going to be sticking around this Expo for the next little bit. But you'll notice the first unit, or this unit that's just come out here, the Troll Witch Doctor, is going to be very important in this matchup. He's just creeping for items right now, except the Scroll of the Beast, which is a pretty good item. So what he's going to be doing is basically preventing what the human player has planned to do, which is basically to sneak around with his Mountain King and get as many peon kills and try to wreck the orc player's economy as much as possible. That's the basic standard play, because a lot of people won't be going for massive amounts of, like, yeah, it's just, that's just what you do because you want to play the economy game and sort of win it out there. Unfortunately, Fly gets a little jacked here. I actually thought Yumika might have been able to pull off a a Shadow Hunter kill, but you never know. It was Spirit linked, but he might have been able to get a bash or two. So he set up these 2 wards, and this just means he's